Hey, what is going on, guys? Xpertfusion here, and welcome to my first review of The Walking Dead on my channel. My first actual review for season 6. I did some back in season 5. I'm sorry I missed episode 1. That will not happen again, but this is episode 2 of season 6, which was titled JSS. So, JSS, people might be asking, how did that play a significance within this episode? And I'm going to say that right here, because JSS stands for Just Survive Somehow. So, what's her name? Enid actually revealed that to us, and it plays a major significance within this episode because Carol and Morgan were on very different sides in this episode. Morgan did not want to kill any of the wolves. He wanted them to, he was trying to talk to them with words. He was having a completely different method than Carol, because Carol was just going all out war, was just killing every single one of them that she found. I mean, Morgan and Father Gabriel tied up that one guy, and Carol just came up and just put him right down. And that kind of shows two different sides of the table. They're completely different characters, but they're both surviving. So it doesn't matter. So JSS kind of means doesn't matter how you're surviving. It just matters if you are surviving. And I kind of caught on to that as I was thinking about, how does JSS actually, how does just survive somehow, that little phrase, how does that even have anything to do with the episode? I was thinking that, but it definitely did when I thought about it a little bit. And this episode, I'm going to go over some positives and negatives about the episode. Of course, it was an amazing episode. It is definitely going to be probably in my top 20 episodes I've seen. I don't know. It's definitely up there. It's definitely up there in the top 15 at this point. It was just such an intense episode, mainly because I didn't read the spoilers, because sometimes I do end up reading the spoilers, because the Spoiling Dead on Facebook usually comes out with spoilers, and I actually did not read them for this episode, so I was completely surprised by everything that happened, and it was just insane. There were so many insane scenes, so I'm going to go over the craziest scenes and stuff like that. That's what I'm going to be doing within my review. So I'm just going to go over the overview of how my reviews are going to go. It's going to start off with me just kind of explaining something maybe you didn't know, and just explaining the overall plot of the episode. Then I'm going to get into the positives and the negatives. Then I'm going to get into the best scenes of the episode, and then overall summary of how I felt about the episode and something else that's interesting about it. So, positives and negatives. A few positives. I'm going to start off with negatives, because there was not many negatives. The only negative I would have is Holly. They killed her off right away. I mean, I don't even know what they were planning on doing, because we all know Holly in the comic books plays a major role with the love triangle between Abraham, Holly, and Rosita, and she plays a major role in that part. But Francine, who was that one character in season 5, episode 14, where Abraham saved her life, she was kind of taking the role of Holly, and so we were all confused. We're like, is Francine going to be the same as Holly, or what? But then they introduced Holly with a name and stuff like that back in one of the last episodes of season 5, and we were like, oh, Holly is in here. And so we thought maybe which one is actually going to be, the character to get with Abraham, and then they just kill off Holly, so Holly was a complete waste. But I just don't like how they built her character up and kept saying her name, and the people kept saying her name in the background and stuff like that, but they end up just killing her off. I didn't really understand that. I would rather off them just not have Holly at all, but that doesn't really bother me too much. It's whatever. It doesn't really matter. It added a plot point for Denise, which that's another positive, is the new characters that they're introducing. I mean, even last episode, Heath's actor is just amazing. I really like his character already. Denise as well is a great character in the comics, and they introduced her pretty well. She's kind of just a nervous lady, and she might not seem that likable because she's not badass. She doesn't really know how to use a gun or anything like that, but she's gonna save some lives, definitely, because when all out war happens and somebody gets their eyes shot out, she is going to be there to basically save his life. So Denise does play a major role in that part. Other positives would be just awesome action. I mean, it was action-packed like crazy. We had so many one-on-one fights. The one with Jesse just mauling down that lady with the scissors. I love that scene. Best scene of the episode, man. Best scene of the episode. We also had Morgan and that one wolf going at it, which was also really, really intense, and that was one of my favorite parts about the episode as well. Is at the very end, it was pretty surprising. I didn't know it was going to come. There are some wolves still alive though, so they might come back for a retreat. I'm thinking maybe episode 5 or 6, maybe. but we'll have to wait and see. All out, No Way Out story arc is coming soon, so it is what it is. So what are other positives? Well, yeah, there's a lot of gore, which I love gore in The Walking Dead. There's a lot of gore, brutal gore. Like literally, these wolves, they don't use guns. Maybe because the fact that it's trying to let us know that The Walking Dead, they're so far in the apocalypse where ammo is really scarce. Weapons and ammo, they're scarce. There's not much left. So these wolves are stuck using freaking axes and machetes and stuff like that, and spiky poles and stuff like that, and they were just going ham at people. But the weird thing about the wolves are that you saw them literally just gutting down people with no remorse, and they just kept doing it. Even when they knew they were dead, they had pleasure in just beating in bodies. So we all know the wolves, they are insane people. They are definitely more crazy than the hunters, I would say, at this point. I actually kind of feel like doing a video like who are more crazy, the hunters or the wolves, because there are some crazy groups out there. I mean, both these groups are freaking crazy, and I think that it was just awesome. Another great thing about the episode was just the character development in Carol and Morgan. It was just amazing what they did with those characters. Like they're just doing such a good job with The Walking Dead. I am very loving this season so far. We've only had 2 episodes, and I'm thinking this is going to be a great season. And by the way, episode 4 is supposedly supposed to be 90 minutes long, which is going to be pretty cool. I'm not positive if that's 100% confirmed, but it's leaked out there. Like people see that on their channel guide for AMC this Sunday or next Sunday. The episode looks to be 90 minutes, but I don't know, whatever. That's pretty much the whole review. I think I got every different point of the episode. Oh yeah, one more thing about Enid. I forgot to talk about Enid, Carl, and Ron and their characters. They had great development, man. I love how they have a little love triangle going around. It's kind of a small love triangle. We don't really see it too much, but it's definitely a very interesting love triangle, and I'm very interested to see more of that. And I thought it was pretty awesome. I loved, I'm telling you, loved this scene where Ron was running away from that one wolf, and Carl comes out and shoots the wolf in the leg, and the guy was screaming for mercy. And that made me think back to season 3 finale when he just put that kid down with no remorse, when he was begging for giving up and everything, and this guy was giving up. So Carl was like, I'm gonna savor his life, and then the guy started grabbing his leg, and then Carl just had to kill him. And I think that was just great development. Enid, the flashback was pretty cool. I mean, it let us know that she lost her parents in a brutal way, and she was basically a savage out there in the woods by herself. And then she ended up coming to Alexandria, just destroyed as a person, and that's why she's definitely she keeps to herself and stuff like that. And last thing, I'm almost done. Would be people. There's confusion going around. People think that Enid is actually part of the wolves. And because when she was talking to Carl, she was like, "There's too many blind spots here." And then Carl cut her off, and people were thinking, "Oh, did she hop the walls? Was she part of the wolves?" Because she was kind of implying that they hopped the walls, and she said "we," and Carl didn't understand. People don't understand what she meant by "we." Did she mean the wolves? No, she didn't mean the wolves. She meant her and Carl, who jumped the fences every now and then to just explore out in the woods alone and just have some off time from community and just explore the world and live in the apocalypse, because they both think that they shouldn't be weak and they shouldn't stay inside a home not knowing what's out there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys on my next one. Peace out.